All right, what's up, guys? My name is Zack, and for the last week, I've been driving the 2025 Cadillac Escalade V. Up front is a 6.2-liter supercharged V8, and down below is a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving and reviewing and filming and showing you guys this SUV. I think this might be the best SUV ever made, and I think it's very clear why, but we're still going to talk about the rest. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that 6.2-liter supercharged V8. Well, we've seen this in the Camaros, the Corvette of yesteryear, and now it's in the Escalade V. It makes 682 horsepower, and it is glorious. It makes every good sound, noise, feeling. It's fast. It's undeniable. This is a brute force under the hood of this Escalade, and it is truly, truly magnificent, not only in the way that it is American engineering at its absolute finest, but it makes you feel good. It makes you feel naughty. It makes you feel like you're doing something you're not supposed to, and that is a beautiful, beautiful thing, and hey, it doesn't sound bad either. Now, a downside of that is that fuel economy is in the, well, single digits. And you're going to get under 300 miles of range per tank of gas if you drive it like how you're going to drive it. And I know you're going to drive it how you're going to drive it. Like I said, paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission, it's fine. The entire Escalade V as a whole is a little jerky down low. Small inputs take a lot more precision than they do in the standard Escalade. You have to be a baby toe on the gas pedal to drive it smoothly at slow speeds or from a stop, because that engine just wants to buck and go. So that is one of the downsides as well. If you want that curated luxury drive, go with a lower trim Escalade. Last but not least, this Escalade, of course, is all-wheel drive. How does it feel to drive the Escalade V? Well, to quote the film The Other Guys, you feel like a blue pill with a face. It's a lean, mean fighting machine. You put your foot down, you hear the supercharger whine, and those wheels start moving quick. And that is, the driving experience is so freaking good. I cannot get out of the seat. The only thing stopping me from driving this everywhere this week has honestly been the fear of the gas pump, because I don't want to fill this, 30-gallon tank with premium fuel. So it's estimated at 13 miles to the gallon, 11 city, 17 highway. Okay, and it has a smaller 24-gallon tank. So premium by me is about $5. So for a complete fill-up, you're looking at about $120 per tank of gas to go 300 miles. That's getting dangerously close to $1 a mile. But hey, it's the Escalade V. The heck do you want? With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a completely digital gauge cluster, and I actually have a completely digital pillar-to-pillar screen on the interior. The gauge cluster's fine. I do think it's a little bit busy. However, you can cycle through a couple different things. This does have night vision, which is really just heat vision, which will help you see animals in the dark on country roads, so that's very nice. However, I think the screen works well enough. On the steering wheel on the left, we do have our cruise control options as well as our heated steering wheel, Super Cruise, and V button. This is outfitted with Super Cruise for hands-free driving, as well as the V button is going to be your custom mode. So if you want the loud exhaust but soft suspension, you could set it here. Off to the right, we do have our volume, skip track, and phone options. And off to the left, we have one of 40 AKG speakers. Yes, this has 40 speakers throughout the vehicle. Climate vent, drive mode button, raise and lower the vehicle for the adjustable suspension. A little V badge, nice little touch down here. Power parking brake and trailer brake assist, as well as the gauge dimmer switch. And moving on to the door, you have 2 levels of memory seats, power locks, power mirrors, and power windows, as well as the latch you get in and out, of which the doors are power. So all 4 doors are power operated. However, I found this to be more annoying than actually useful because they don't open up super wide, which is great so they don't hit cars next to you, but then you end up having to pull the door wider anyway. So I might as well have just opened it up the normal way. Kind of defeats the purpose in my mind. Moving into the center, we get the continuation of that giant screen. We do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, something that their EV products do not get. And you have drive mode select and ambient lighting. You have a nice 360 camera as well. All of those fixings in there. However, there's also another screen just for the passenger where they can watch Hulu, YouTube, play games, go on a web browser, things like that. This has been wonderful for my girlfriend as we've taken this on many drives. Then we have 2 climate vents, and we have another screen. Get ready for more screens. This is your temperature control, climate controls. This is also how you operate the power doors and access your massage seat options. All of this is actually really nice. It hasn't been laggy either, which was always my big concern with screen climate controls, but this actually works out pretty well. Off to the right of that screen, you do have a wireless charger, and down below you have a selector for the main screen as well as volume. We do have our auto holding brake and fan speed on and off. And then off to the right, we do have cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test, and it's a little snug, but it will fit the big friggin' bottle. A big cubby and a center console that does have USB-A and USB-C, but more importantly, it is a cool box. And so you can use the center console as a refrigerator, which is very, very cool. And here is my little test of how cold it got after filming, which was about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Really, really like to see that. The seats are very comfortable. They are, of course, massage, heated, ventilated, power, memory, anything I can want them to do, they do. And it is very, very comfortable. It's very luxurious, and that, of course, will be our final thoughts. But we do have 2 more rows of seating, and this is outfitted with the optional executive seat package, which is about $7,500. So let's get back there and do an executive seat package review. All right. So, first of all, we'll get to that in a second. The executive seat package is $7,500. See, that's what I mean by the door not opening a whole lot. This is a t-shirt my friend got me from Japan. But getting in the back here, this is luxury. First of all, we do have a screen here. We could watch Disney, YouTube, Tubi, web browser, HDMI, and we can check the vehicle status, see how fast we're going, fuel range, and trip information. Love to see all that. Coming down here, we have our own little center console. We have fan speed adjustment, all these different climate controls. We have our own seat massage options. So let's get the need going here and position. I can position it here, or I do have buttons down here to adjust it as well. We have dual phone chargers and come in here, and these are fold out tray tables. It's hard to do one-handed, but fold it out like this, and then I can get some work done or eat a meal or something in the back of my Cadillac Escalade V. I absolutely love this. So fold this back up, put that back down in there. This is, like I said, a $7,500 option. And the only downside is that it really makes it difficult. See, I have to push it anyway. It makes it very, very difficult to get into the third row. And the Escalade IQ that we tested earlier this year has the exact same problem. I'm curious if I can actually move this one up further just with the interior packaging of the gasoline-powered version. Yeah, this is the entire gap that you get to get into the back. Not really great. So here is the third row. You do get a third row, but I do not physically fit back here because this giant center console is not movable. It is very hard to get back here. I don't know why they even include the third row with this executive seat package. I guess it's because, you know, you expect to get an Escalade with a third row. It'd be weird if it didn't have a third row, but still kind of strange. So I can move this back into its regular position. There we go. So you can just pull the door handle and it will close like that. And then coming around the back, don't mind the super loud exhaust. Hit the button there, and it is, of course, a power-operated tailgate. It would be weird if it didn't. That is my suit jacket from the wedding last night that I officiated. Coming down here, we do have some storage down below. We have power operations for this third row. You could do it right back up as well. AKG speaker, of course. And we get a wall outlet. So anything you could want around the back of the Escalade V, absolutely lovely. Come up here, power tailgate button, right back down. Super simple. I love it. This is so great. Now we gotta talk about the looks. I love this red paint. It's a $1,200 option. Infrared, they call it, and it is beautiful. This vehicle makes a statement. If you don't see it, you'll certainly hear it, and I love to hear and see that. This vehicle is big, brawny, and in your face. It captures everyone's attention when you pull up, and that's exactly what the Escalade always has been, and I assume always will be. Even the Escalade IQ, love or hate electric cars, that vehicle has presence. It gets eyes. People notice when you pull up in that vehicle as well, so this is no different. You just make a lot more racket when you pull up to the scene in this as opposed to the Escalade IQ. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What has it been like to have the most exquisite privilege of driving a Cadillac Escalade V for a week? Well, I love this vehicle. I begged and pleaded with Cadillac, said, please let me borrow it for a week, because this particular vehicle is actually leaving the press fleet because it has gone through its mileage. And so they said, well, we could squeeze you in towards the end of September. And I said, I'll take it. I'll take whatever I could get. I'll take it 40 minutes behind the wheel. I'll take 30 minutes behind the wheel. I'll take looking at one of these. I would take sitting behind it in traffic. That's how great this SUV is. There are a few minor downsides, of course. I don't like the power doors. Like I said, they're a lot more annoying than they are useful. And around town, it is kind of a jerky driving experience. You do feel as though there is an angry wildebeest under the hood that is itching and scratching to get out of its cage. And so from a stoplight, it's not the smoothest thing in the world. We did take this to a wedding, which was very nice. However, my girlfriend was trying to do makeup in the car, and that's not really a possibility with the big 6.2 V8. Everything else in this vehicle has been wonderfully flawless. It's fast, it's loud, it's fun, and this is just America at its peak. I believe that this will go down as one of the best pieces of American engineering to ever come out. And yes, there is the Durango Hellcat that makes a little bit more power, but the Durango Hellcat can't even fathom the amount of luxury that this gives you. Because at the end of the day, this is a luxurious space to be in. The technology, the features, this is the better car. This is the superior car. And I do humbly believe that in the modern era, this is the best SUV to ever do it. And I know that price is expensive. It's $170,000. I won't ever be able to afford a vehicle like this. You might not ever be able to afford a vehicle like this. But can we just mutually agree that we're freaking happy that this vehicle even exists? Cadillac does not need to make this. They probably don't make that much money off of them. But here it is. Somehow they got the suits and the bean counters to agree on this. And that is a feat all its own. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys liked it. I am going to leave this video with a little compilation of this vehicle's exhaust note. I think it's one of the best to do it. I've never heard an SUV with more snaps, crackles, and pops. And so I'm not even going to do my outro. At some point, the end card will come up. You can click other videos if you want, but I'm just going to leave you with this blissful, blissful audio. Take care, everyone.